Hi everyone! In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make raw carrot cake with cashew frosting. It's a layer cake, so it's a little bit more labor intensive, but you can easily turn it into just a single layer cake with frosting on top. Let's start with the actual carrot cake. The first ingredient is walnuts. Add them into a food processor and process them until they are ground, but still have some texture. Next are medjool dates. If you're using any other type of dates, you will want to soak them first so they soften up. Desiccated coconut, coconut flour, spices. I'm using cinnamon, ginger and nutmeg, vanilla extract, lemon juice, lemon zest and a pinch of sea salt. Pulse all the ingredients a few times until well combined. The cake mixture should be sticky enough to hold together when you press it between your fingers. The last ingredient is grated carrots. Grate the carrots as finely as possible. I typically add the carrots into the food processor and pulse all the ingredients briefly once more, but you can also just fold the carrots into the cake mixture to get a lighter, more cake-like texture. Once all the carrot cake ingredients are well combined, add half of the mixture into a greased 6-inch springform pan. Really pack it down and make the top as smooth and leveled as possible. Transfer the cake into the freezer and let it chill for at least 30 minutes so it firms up and is easy to work with. Repeat the process with the second half of the cake mixture. Now onto the frosting. The first thing you will need to do is soak cashews for at least a few hours so they soften and are easy to blend. I typically soak the cashews the night before. Once soaked, drain the soaking water and add the cashews into a high-speed blender. Next is coconut cream, coconut oil. If your coconut oil isn't liquid, warm it up a bit before adding it to the blender, maple syrup, vanilla extract, and lemon juice. Blend on high until completely smooth. The final step is assembling the carrot cake. The easiest way to do this is to assemble the entire cake in a springform pan. So leave one of the cake layers in the pan. Then pour half of the frosting on top of the cake. To make sure there are no air bubbles in the frosting, tap the springform pan against the counter a few times. Let the cake with the first layer of frosting chill in the freezer until the frosting is semi-firm, so it holds the second layer of the cake. Once chilled, add the second layer of the cake and gently press it into the frosting. finally, add the second half of the frosting. Now, the hardest part, let the cake set in the freezer for at least 6 hours, ideally overnight, so the cake firms up and easily pulls away from the springform pan. And that's it, raw carrot cake with cashew frosting. I make a lot of raw cakes, but usually 2 layers max, so this layered carrot cake was a nice change. And I think I've mentioned this in some of my past videos. I grew up in Europe and my mom never made carrot cake. Nobody in my family ever made carrot cake. So I didn't have carrot cake until I came to Canada when I was like 18 or 19. Whereas Tanner grew up on carrot cake. So he did some tweaking and testing during the creation process of this recipe.
And it's really good. I think this is going to be similar and like familiar enough to a normal carrot cake, although I requested that the icing level come down because I remember having icing on carrot cakes when I was younger. It was like just huge amounts of icing and very little amount of cake. And I never liked that because it was just overwhelming. So I like the dual layer method because it adds moisture into the center of the cake as well as the top. And I really like that texture. The cake itself is probably a little bit more denser than your standard eggs, flour based carrot cake. Mm-hmm. So a little bit denser, but the flavor is, like I said, very familiar. Nutmeg, cinnamon, giving it like this warm, spicy flavor. And then the lemon and the ginger in this cake, I have not experienced anything like it before. It's got a zesty, tingly aftertaste, really sweet. It's really good. The icing, like I said, adds a good amount of moisture to each bite as it goes across the palate. I really like that. And it has a coconut cream in there as well as cashew. So you'll have to play with the ratio to see what you like best. I lean more towards the coconut cream side. I like that flavor better. And if you like the cashew, of course, just add more of that. But in this case, it goes up to coconut cream and then up another level to cashew as the finish. So if you want coconut as the finish, you'll have to adjust the ratio. Otherwise, it is very fun to eat, really tasty. Like I said, it's got this really sweet, tingly flavor to it, and you just have to try it.
Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, comment below, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.